Today, I am going to talk about an injured spirit. I want you to understand this, especially my sisters who are all the married women of this world and those who are living with their partners and those who have boyfriends who are promising to marry them. And during this time where the world is changing because of social media, television, advices from many sources, which is different from the olden day where we used to rely on family for advice and things like that. Right. Because I am an African, it does not mean that this is for Africans, it's for everybody. If you're married and you want another way of looking at things, a very different way, of an alternative way of looking at things concerning your marriage or your boyfriend or your partner with whom you expect to get married to one day, maybe you can get a sentence. If I'm not good enough, maybe you can get a sentence, a small sentence, which can help you from many advices that you get from many people who've got different intentions. I'm telling you, intelligent women, a man whose partner and children have been removed from me on accusations that I have gotten aggressive control behavior, domestic abuse, actually, which I never saw in my own family where I was born. I was born in a family where there was a mommy and a daddy, and I never saw my daddy hitting my mother one day. Yes, I've heard them argue quite a number of times, argue. Some of the things were very laughable, things they were arguing about. I remember so many things that they were arguing about. Normal families, as far as I know. I will say normal because I have never been to your family. But what I know is that there is no father and mother or family that I have ever heard of or that I've once lived with anywhere in the world who have never had an argument. Even my friends have got wives now, well-grounded wives. They argue and settle their differences in the manner they met, because we meet different manners. Some people meet in the pub, some people meet in church, some people meet in the bus, some people meet in holiday. So we meet in different places, and we have got different skills to handle our families depending on our upbringing as well as depending on our environment. Environment meaning, the rocks which are buried under our houses where we build a place called home and we spend all the time could be emitting some radiation. I'm only trying to show you how the environment plays on human psyche. Could be emitting some radiation which changes your way of thinking, or which directs your way. Just as scientists, they'll tell you the effect of radiation, actually the effect of your environment, how it becomes a key builder of the neurons which make your brain. The environment is the most key thing. because of those things. We don't know what they are. The scientists are still trying to find out. Maybe radiation from radium. You know, if you're in this country in Britain, there are so many places where there's radium. Houses were built on top of rocks which emitting radium. So people in places like that would definitely be different from people, would think differently from people who come from places where granite, this rock granite, is emitting some radiation also, which is different. So we are actually controlled by a lot of things that we do not know, that we may not even find out in the future. But I just mentioned a few to say people from different locations have got different ways of thinking, and we are never going to think the same. For those grounded women, you already know that your husband, you will argue every time because he comes from another family and you come from another family, and you have argued with your own mother. Imagine your own mother, your own DNA. It is impossible that you spent 20 years with your mother all the time of your life and you agreed on everything all the time, or your sisters and brothers, the ones that you love the most, that you never argued with them. So arguments are part and parcel of life. You argue with your friend, you choose a friend. You can't choose a family, but you choose a friend. And you can choose to leave a friend or get another one or stick with the one, but you still will argue with your friend, as you will still argue with your sister, and as you will have argued with your mother. There is nobody that you have interacted with for 10 years and you never argued or differed in something. Differing actually means that you are a healthy human being. A normal healthy human being will find these things. There's no way where you will find someone very perfect, that perfect husband I've been dreaming about. It's impossible. Nobody has ever found one. I also want a perfect wife who thinks like me, one who thinks like me, always think like me. If I want to drink water now, she also wants to drink water now. Things like that. So it's impossible to achieve some of the things that some people imagine are possible, especially gullible wives. If you're a gullible wife and you think there's something better, some way better than what you already have, then you are at a very difficult position. But I know also that there are some people really under stress. Someone is aggressive, really aggressive. You can't say anything in the house, and there's no love. There's no happiness at all. Someone is aggressive every time, and things like that. I do understand. You get beaten and you get your money taken. You're stopped from buying your own things, like what is written on the website. You're stopped from buying on the women websites. They have that aggressive control behavior, which I was charged off. I know it happens to other families, you see, but it is bad to have an injured spirit. You become an injured spirit who goes around other people's houses looking for well-settled women and telling them that they are being abused when you do not have evidence of that, or they tell you just one statement. So today we argued about it, and you jump to say, yes, this is exactly what it means. Go and read this website, and it says you are being abused. It says a lot of women who are abused cannot see that they are being abused. These are some of the signs. You confuse someone and you destroy families. These arguments are always there in life. You're not going to finish them, and you will never find one family, just a single family, which doesn't have that. Right, from where I come from, an African child belongs to the entire family and its extensions. If you lose a child being an African, it becomes a lifetime issue. So People always ask me why I choose to bear out the intricate issues of my family, the split of my family, meaning my partner and the children, on public domains. They ask me, why do you do that? I'll be honest with you. I'm a very people who know me to be very shy man, reserved. Actually, I don't like to say things in the public. If you find me saying something in the public, then you must notice that there is a problem. So this issue concerns my children. It concerns their future. Their future is at risk. They are being set to be used as business objects for injured spirits and their entrepreneurship. And the issue is actually got an essence of racism, which comes in words like, we are helping you, yet they're actually destroying my family, destroy my partner, destroy my children, destroy the cohesion and the joy and the happiness of a child lifting a hand in the class to say, oh, mommy and daddy, things like that. Destroy that. It's the injured spirit that I'm going to define to you today. You, especially you married women, and you women who live with your partners. If an injured spirit approaches you, take my video and look at it. Yeah, if an injured spirit approaches you, I've already told you that it is impossible not to argue with your partner with whom you live for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 12 years, sometimes 30 years. If an injured spirit comes to you saying they're coming to help you, that's the end of you. They will help you. You will be shocked how much money they will give you. But guess what? It's not for a lifetime. At a lifetime scope of things, you will see your partner, that the one that you chose for yourself, under no duress, having to marry another wife, having other children some way. If he's lucky, he's going to get a grounded woman who never gets influenced by injured spirits. If I told the world that my partner of 12 years, with whom I have 3 children, 2 of whom are autistic, has never told me that I am abusive in 12 years. She's always appreciated me, spoken well about me, supported my ideas, stopped me from doing so many things like work, to say it is not to the best interest of this family in this situation. So I listened, we did things together. I put myself in austerity out of her advice. Put myself in austerity. What kind of a person is he? So bad as it is today, because we can't even speak to each other now. I don't know where she is. And we are, let me say, worst enemies now. But it's not us who created it. You can ask her. She doesn't want to see me. I don't want to see her. And it's not us who created this. It's injured spirits who knocked that door and came in and did that. Ask me why I married. Why? No, not married. We were actually partners. Why I chose a wrong partner. She was not a wrong partner. She comes from a very good family, a very grounded family, actual African tradition family. Hers is even more like African traditional than mine, because her father had 7 wives and 51 children, whereas I come from a family where there is a mommy and a daddy. So she is more African natured than I can claim to be. If you had met her mother, who also happens to be a princess in a southern African country, real one, not this fake princess, a real one from one of the African countries. The manner she spoke, my mother-in-law, you could feel the radiation of correctness in the ambience of African beliefs. She was actually a modern kind. I don't know her education, to be honest. I don't know, but I was shocked when I met her, because at some point in 2011, we live here in Swansea. We lived here in Swansea. At some point in 2011, we had to go and see her at Hilton Hotel in London. We actually had to book a hotel ourselves so that we would be nearer to her hotel room. She came all the way from Africa, booked a hotel in Hilton. Near Heathrow. There's a Hilton hotel near Heathrow, very spacious, expensive. She booked we couldn't afford it ourselves, so we booked it somewhere else, then nearer to that. Then we went there, then we saw her. It was the first time I was seeing her. To be honest, I was left shocked, because as an African, I know you do not get too close to mother-in-law. But on that day, she treated me as her son, and the imagination, the perception of her that she left in me is something that will endure forever. And if I try to compare what her daughter has been pushed to do now in comparison to the ambience and groundedness of my mother-in-law, it looks like two different people. You can never say that my partner was a daughter to my mother-in-law. No, you can never say that. Even her family, I went to her family sometime in the 2012 and met them all. You would be shocked. The groundedness and the temperate manner in which they speak and they do things, and the way they handled me at the time I was there. Imagine, in African terms, I had not paid something called lobola, which is very important to pay before you take their daughter. That's what we do in Africa. But regardless of that, they treated me in a way I will never forget all my life, and I've never seen a son-in-law or a prospective son-in-law ever treated like that in life. So this is how important this partner of mine with whom I have 3 children with was, she, in the 12 years that we've been together, she has never well, she, like everybody else, she has said, "Oh no, no, this thing I don't like, and this thing I don't like," and I would change, like things like she didn't want me to eat. They're simple things, but I just want to show things that someone can ask you to stop, and you stop. I was told not to eat lamb. Because she has got other beliefs and things like that. And there are things also for me, especially concerning dress, that I would say, no, 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 you can't dress this like this when we're going to. It's where I come from, and my own church beliefs and things like that. She comes from the same church also, and so that families have things like that. But at one point, when I told her not to, actually, I didn't even tell her. When I refused to go to a meeting where we were going to meet some injured spirits, where we would be talking about children who are autistic, then I took her to that place because she had dressed trying to match the other ladies who were there, the way they dress, which is very different from the way um, uh, um, in Africa we perceive a mother to dress. I wouldn't mind if she dressed the same things and we were going somewhere else, but not at places where we would represent children, or we were going to church, or we were going to some respected places. I would say, no, 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 not that one. So on that day, deliberately, she dressed like that. And I knew I am not allowed to tell her not to dress like that. Then I took her to that place and dropped her, but did not go we were supposed to go to the meeting together, and I didn't go. I said, no, I can't go with you, and I didn't tell her the reason. She knew exactly that it was against what she was wearing, and she went in there in anger, and that started exactly what they wanted, which was the reason for the meeting. It sparked everything, and she was told that I'm a very dangerous man. I don't know what they discussed there, everything they discussed. Then she gave them a character of myself out of anger, out of, that instantaneous anger, because I had just refused to get into the building with her, and she went there alone. That amounts to abuse. To refuse to go with her amounts to abuse. Aggressive abuse behavior, which means that my children must be taken away from her, from me, and they must be cast to the lions. So everything started from there, and she was advised what to say and how to claim things, and she was told that even if it was a lie, and it would never be questioned by anyone, because I would never be allowed to cross question her in front of the court or things like that. So she would say anything, it would be accepted at the strength of the word that she has put it. So this is how our case was handed over to divorce manufacturers. So these divorce manufacturers thrive on the fact that an affected man will be shy to tell the intricate details on public domains such as this. It is naturally human that we as human species do not want our private matters published. I also wouldn't want that. But in a case like this, which is instigated by a government-backed, fraudulent institutions, and being an initiative to alienate me from my children. I have to make my case public and expose some people, and this will help some families in the who are potentially could end up in this situation. My focus today will be titled Injured Spirit. I like to view an injured spirit as an invisible force which has an extraordinary ability to affect matter, to affect visible, physical, tangible matter. A spirit affecting visible, physical matter. You know, it is better to fight an object which is visible than to fight a spirit which is invisible. When a man and a woman are fighting about something tangible, the most possible position is that they can point out to the problem because it is visible and agree in ways to deal with it. But this only happens when the issue is visible. If the two are fighting something so complex as a spirit, it is most likely that a solution will be difficult, especially if the spirit is an injured one. If my partner was normal and there was no problem at all, she was a normal person and we had a problem about dress, she went there and I refused to go, a normal person would come back and say, oh, why did you do that? And things like that. She would go there and never tell anyone. That's what women hide, these things. Never tell anyone, go there. But the problem is there was something in, she has actually shown a lot of things which I really didn't understand. So many years that I was asking myself, but why is she different? There was something that she didn't tell me about herself, things which happened to her, unfortunate things, not things that she did, unfortunate things, but which she did not tell me. But I was actually told by the police on that day. I was told by the police on that day. And I did not know, this is somebody I spent 12 years with. And I did not know that. This thing has been haunting her. Something which happened many years before I met her. But I was never told. I handled her as an ordinary, normal human being like I would handle anybody, normal. I wasn't told. I was only told by the police after I'd been arrested for being aggressive and being in control. Many advisors and counselors have tricks and advices to help two people to fight a bad spirit in the family. These things may be false suspicion, rumor, bad judgment, poor communication, misunderstanding, things like that, ordinary things, ordinary daily things, life. But no advisor in life, no advisor in life would be able to help a couple fight an injured spirit. Yes, to fight a spirit, yes, some people can help you fight a spirit. But to fight an injured one is difficult because it does not come up to the surface. You can live for 12 years without knowing anything, who you are dealing with, what happened in the past, things that you should know on the very first day so that you know how to behave, how to try and calm down things, and you were not told. This is because an injured spirit has a lot of hidden skeletons which the spirit does not want to be known by anyone else except the spirit itself. And there are so many of them. This, to me, as I was a growing up boy, I did notice some places where mother would be living alone, and she would be young and actually living alone. Her behavior towards other mothers who have got